Are you in the unique position of having to buy and sell a house at the same time? We understand that can be daunting, but don't worry. Aaron and I have worked with many clients over our career in these simultaneous purchase and sale transactions, and we have come up with a step-by-step guide for you.
We're also going to give you a glimpse of what fall looks like right here in central Pennsylvania, with some fun things to do around the area. And with that being said, we're going to get real with it right now. We recognize that buying and selling a home at the same time is much more challenging than just doing one or the other. That's why it's imperative that you work with an experienced and proven team who has handled many of these simultaneous transactions, like here at the Living in Central PA team. First, let's go over the traditional way to buy and sell a home. I'm going to hand that over to Josh to explain.
So let's talk specifically about a sale and settlement contingency and why those worked so well traditionally. You have a home that you're living in now. When you write the contract on that home that you want to purchase, that contract is going to be contingent on you selling your home, thereby the sale and settlement contingency. Now, in that contingency, we lay out the list price of the home that you have to sell, the time frame that you need to sell that within. There are also certain kickouts that are available. I won't get into all the details about that, but we'll certainly explain all of your options if we're in the situation with you.
Okay.
So then you have your home for sale, you get it under contract. There was a certain number of days between settlement of your home and the settlement of the home that you're going to purchase, so you can leverage the equity that you've been saving for so many years to put into the purchase of that new home. Very quick, very easy, excellent strategy. Times have changed a little bit. It's been more difficult with the influx of buyers to get an offer with a sale and settlement contingency through to the closing table. If you're a seller and you're looking at multiple offers and one of those has a sale and settlement contingency and a home inspection and a mortgage, it's going to be less attractive than maybe a cash offer or an offer that wipes away most of those contingencies. I will give you some good news. Aaron and I have been able to get a lot of these deals done over the past few months with sale and settlement contingencies, so the tides are changing a bit. However, with an uncertain market, with inflation, with fluctuating interest rates, we could very well be right back in a situation where buyers are flooding the market again. So keep this in mind. It's important to know other strategies beyond contingencies that'll help you get your home sold, your next home purchased, and get you to that settlement table. And I'm going to turn it over to Aaron to talk to you about some of those.
Let's go over a few other ways that we can help you buy and sell a home at the same time without necessarily using a sale and settlement contingency. Let's say we're back into a competitive market where we were just a couple months ago, last year, and even the year before, where sellers are receiving multiple offers on their homes, and you just can't get that sale and settlement contingency through because the other offers don't have sale and settlement contingencies. So it's going to be a lot harder in a competitive market. Now, not all these scenarios are going to work for everybody. It's definitely going to be a case-by-case basis. We'll identify this on our first call when we speak. Let's go over the first scenario, and that's going to be affording two mortgages at the same time. So you have your current mortgage on your current home, and then you also can afford another mortgage on another home. If your bank or financial institution says that's possible, that's definitely the way to go. Number one, you don't have to use a mortgage contingency, so your offer looks better to a seller in a competitive market. Number two, it's a little easier when it comes to moving time because you can actually settle on your new home, move into your new home, and then settle on your existing home, making that process a little less stressful. Doesn't mean you actually have to make two payments in the same month. Typically, we can sell your existing home before your first payment is due on your new home. There's usually a grace period of about a month and a half to 2 months in those situations. The second option is what's called a bridge loan, and that's basically just bridging your current mortgage and the new mortgage on the purchase of a new house. So you're bridging them together. Typically, it's an interest-only payment for up to 6 months. So it allows you to sell your current home, purchase a new home, make an interest-only payment during those months, and then once you're finished, once your home sells, then you're going to be put into more of a permanent loan, 30-year fixed loan and such. They're usually only offered by local banks and credit unions. The third option we're talking about today is borrowing from your investment accounts. Now, if this is possible, that is going to put you in a very good position because number one, is going to be considered a cash offer, so you won't need a mortgage contingency. And number two, you won't need a sell and settlement contingency, making your offer shine. So with this, most cases, you have investments, whether it's 401k or other investments that you can borrow from. Maybe you don't want to cash those investments in. I wouldn't want to. But a lot of times they allow you to take a short-term loan, whether it's 6 months or 9 months, where you can purchase a new home and then sell your current home and replace that money. So like I said, that's going to be one of your best options you have. It's not for everybody. Maybe you don't have the cash in there. Maybe your institution won't let you take a short-term loan out, but I've seen it happen plenty of times over the past 2.5 years. Next is going to be putting a contingency on selling your home. So what I mean by that is we list your home, but it's contingent on you finding suitable housing. So let's say we get an offer in, but we have to make the settlement time 60, 90 days out in order for you to find a new home to purchase. In this scenario, you have your house under contract. So when we put an offer in on a new home, we just have to put a settlement contingency instead of a sale and settlement contingency, which looks better. It means that your house is already under contract, so we don't have to find a buyer. We just have to settle on that home. So that's going to basically wrap up the scenarios that we're going to cover today for having to buy and sell a house at the same time without having to put a sale and settlement contingency on it. I'm going to turn it over to Josh right now, and he's going to go through the process from kind of start to finish, from when you first call us until settlement time. Take it over, Josh.
So let's go over the step-by-step process for buying and selling your home from the moment you reach out to us to the moment we hit the settlement table. So during the initial consultation, we will conduct a CMA, a comparative market analysis, and value your home based on comparable sales within the last year or so. So our goal is always to list your home at the high end of those comps and get the seller, you, the most return on your investment. But that's heavily dependent on a number of factors, including the condition of your property. As such, first step is going to be to prepare your home for listing. How do we do this? We finish any outstanding projects that are going on. Are you finishing a basement or a bathroom? Are you doing painting? Is there trash removal that's necessary? Do things need to start being moved into storage to free up some space? If we need to do any of those things, we work with contractors all the time. We can get people in your home within a week or less to get these projects started. Cleaning crews, painting crews, what have you. The more professional your home shows, the better chances of getting multiple offers. The timeline is often interrupted with these items not being taken care of in a timely manner. So the sooner that we can get on top of this, the better. The quicker we can tackle these things, the higher that we're going to go under contract. So once the home is ready for market, we'll have a professional photographer come in, take pictures. We'll do a walking video tour of the home. That'll of course be featured on our YouTube channel as well as other media outlets. And whether the home is empty or staged, that's up to us. That's up to you as it's a case-by-case basis. There's not really a preference either way. The key is making it clean, look like it's been well taken care of, and finish any of those outstanding projects that might be going on. Next, we'll want to make financial arrangements with your bank or financial institution on how you'd like to finance the home that you're going to purchase. Have the necessary approvals in order and the funding prepared, whether it's cash that you're going to be using from the sale of your home or you're going to mortgage that home. At the Living in Central PA team, we work with several of the top lenders in the area and banks, and we will certainly act as a strong fiduciary partner to helping you attain realistic financial goals. After that, we want to identify specific criteria for the type of home that you want to buy. So that pre-qualification is important to put in place before we start looking, because as soon as we find a house, that offer is going to be submitted, and that listing agent or seller are going to ask us for that pre-approval to make sure that we are creditworthy to be buying that property. So once the pre-approval is in place, we'll start looking for homes. We'll build a custom search for you specifically that will pull all the applicable listings on the market and alert you via text and email. At that point, you're going to identify a property that you like, and we will arrange a showing within 24 hours, time that's convenient with your schedule. Virtual or Zoom showings are certainly common nowadays as well, especially for you out-of-town buyers. Now, let's say you find your perfect home and we write an offer. We typically ask that the seller respond within 24 hours, no later. We do this to avoid competing offers slipping in before ours is fully considered. Once the seller accepts the contract and it's fully ratified, we will then immediately list your current home with a full listing package, including YouTube and social media advertising.
A question I always get from clients that have to buy and sell a home at the same time is, how does settlement day actually work? Are we closing back to back? Is there a waiting period? And my answer is usually yes, there's a waiting period. In Pennsylvania, the buyers always get to choose their own title company. And most of the time, it's not the same title company. If you get lucky and it is, then yes, you can close back to back, no problems at all, because they will already have the funds for you to settle on your new home. But most of the time, it's going to be two different title companies. So we'll go ahead and settle on your current home in the morning. We'll wait a few hours until about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then settle on your new home, giving them ample time for the title company to send your funds to the new title company. So that's how that usually works. Also, I always give my clients a checklist from the beginning until the end, because let's face it, buying a house and selling a house, one transaction, is hard enough. But when you get two transactions at the same time, having to sell and buy, then it definitely gets a little stressful. So I always give my clients a checklist to do to alleviate that stress a little bit. But that's going to basically wrap up that question. I'm going to hand it over to Josh to answer another question that we get all the time.
So a question that we get a lot here with our team is, Aaron and Josh, is this a good time to buy? With interest rates being what they are, with inflation being what it is it a good time to buy? And the answer is surprising to many people. The answer is that right now is actually a good time to buy because buyers have a lot more buying power than they would if the interest rates were much lower, like they were a few years ago at the 2.5% and 3% mark. When interest rates were that low, you have buyers coming out of the woodwork, people that have been saving for homes for years, that are hitting the market all at once and putting offers in like crazy. Every listing was getting multiple offers. Now, in this current climate with the interest rates being higher, Aaron and I are seeing a lot of deals where our clients might have had the only contract that was submitted or one of just a couple. In a situation like that, it's much more favorable for the buyer because your offers are coming right in, right around the listing price, maybe a little under sometimes, and they're sometimes including seller help and certain concessions for buyers that are literally impossible in a market where the rates are much lower and there's that much competition. So let me give you an example. There's a house on the market right now for $300,000 that you're interested in. The rates are in the high sevens and you're contemplating, should I buy that house? But your real estate agent suggests maybe it is a good time to put in an offer because this home has been on the market for a week or two or even 3 or 4 weeks because the buyers just aren't there right now. So let's write an offer. You get the house at $300,000. You might even get some seller help for that. However, let's say you wait to buy that house at $300,000. You wait until those rates come down a couple points, maybe 2.5 points. Now we're back in the 5% range and you go to buy that same house. Now that same house is listed for $320,000 or $330,000 and it's looking at 10, 15 offers. So it ultimately goes under contract at $350,000 or $360,000. People are covering appraisal gaps. People are waiving inspections. There's zero seller help. And now you're left in the dust. So that $300,000 house that you could have had at a high 7, low 8 interest rate is now going to be $360,000, $350,000 with a lower rate, and your payment's ultimately going to be the same. Your mortgage payment is ultimately going to be the same. So what have you really gained in the long run? You can never renegotiate a purchase price. You should brand that on the wall. You should write it down on a Post-it note and keep it on your desk as you're thinking about home purchase. Living at the Central PA team, that is our silver lining for the moment, that in a market that has high interest rates, you can always renegotiate that rate. So let's say you buy the $300,000 house at the high 7% rate, and then you renegotiate and you end up saving yourself a few $100s for that mortgage payment, and you still got a good deal on the home. you can build equity in that home, and down the line, you can sell that and take some equity away as you continue on and purchase your next home. So for that reason, we think it is a good time to buy. Buyers have more power now. We're seeing many less offers on each listing that are coming to the market. And we're seeing concessions being made to buyers such as seller help and things like that. So keep that in mind as you continue your search. All right, let's switch gears here for a minute from the informative part of the video to something a little bit fun. We wanted to show you the beautiful fall season here in central Pennsylvania. You can hear the leaves rustling under my feet as I speak. This is absolutely my favorite time of year. It's why I've never moved out of this area. I'm a Four Seasons guy, and this is just unbeatable. Postcard worthy, picturesque views everywhere you go, from about early October through Thanksgiving to the early part of December. In addition, many of the communities that we've featured on our videos host great fall-related events. For example, you've got Pumpkin Fest at Adams Rickey Park in Enola, a great community event that's been going strong for years. You don't want to miss that one. You've got the Apple Harvest Festival in New Cumberland. All kinds of vendors come out, great for families, a lot to do with arts and crafts and children, and amazing retail vendors, food trucks and whatnot. You've got the Fall Harvest in Camp Hill, where all of Market Street participates, all the small businesses and the families come out, and many others. We're going to show you some snippets of those events throughout this video. We would be remiss if we did not bring to you some pictures and some images of the beautiful fall season here in central Pennsylvania. Take a look.
That is going to wrap up our video for today. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more just like it, make sure you subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications. That way you can be the first to know about the current market right here in Central PA. This is Aaron and Josh with the Living in Central PA team. Until next time, keep it real.